Guys, live show. This live show is brought to you by Detroit. No, I'm just joking. Get in here. Let's talk about it.
William,
What's
what
going
do you
on?
think of the Detroit Lions unveiling these new uniforms a week before the draft? How do you feel?
I can't wait for it.
I've seen a lot of speculation.
Uh, is there any inside track that you know about? Any secrets?
I mean, if Rod Wood wants to give me some inside scoop, I'd gladly take it. But I've seen a lot. So this is the official draft hat right here. That and yours, the blue one. I've seen a lot of people speculating that there's going to be some charcoal black / gray, whatever color you want to call it in there. But this is the color of all the teams' draft hats. I don't think it really means anything.
Yeah, I did see him saying that the players all really liked it.
And they must have had to sign something because nobody's talking on Twitter. Nobody's talking about these new jerseys coming out, but not even a smidge of insight.
Oh.
But I'll say this: I know we're both going to be down there for the jersey unveil in 3 weeks, and we might have to do a giveaway. We might have to do a Detroit Lions jersey giveaway because they're going to be selling the brand new jerseys at Ford Field that night. We're going to try to get our hands on a couple. I think that'd be a hot ticket.
Yeah, you guys are gonna have to show some love for me to part with the brand new jersey.
Yeah, they're going to be hard to get our hands on. So, William, we're 4 weeks away from the draft.
Yes, sir. Can't wait.
Yeah. Bought the same hat, Steve. Copycat, Russ. Always copying my trends. Yeah, 4 weeks away from the draft. It's getting to be crunch time. Tigers opening day today, too. What do we got? We got about an hour and a half until Tigers opening day. I just seen someone commenting about that. Kind of great afternoon, everyone. Great. Gotta love opening day. Go Tigers. Hey, as much as we only cover the Detroit Lions, that doesn't mean we don't support our Detroit Tigers as well.
Facts, man. All the Detroit teams, to include the
Pistons. I can't say nice things about the Pistons. I can't. Guys, if you're new here, hit that like button. And we're going to talk about a giveaway we're doing as we speak for members. I see we got 2 members in here, Russ and Javion. You guys are already entered. So if you guys become members, we have a signed Detroit Lions picture we will be giving away. I should get it tomorrow. We're going to probably give it a few days to kind of get a little bit more interest. But if you become a member, you become a member by joining on an actual computer, a desktop. It's kind of stupid. You can't get it on the mobile app. But if you become a member, you're automatically entered for every single giveaway that we do. That's kind of a perk right there. You don't have to worry about it. We just throw your name in there. You're automatically entered. So think about becoming a member. It's not required. It's just greatly appreciated. So we're going to have that. I hope I have that picture tomorrow. And we'll do our members giveaway. Hopefully maybe Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at how many signatures was on there. I knew there was a couple, but wow, there's a lot of signatures on there.
25 signatures. I know they got Jared Goff, St. Brown, Sewell, Hutch, Ragnow, I think was on there. I think the whole entire offensive line actually, and then a couple other, Aquara brothers, and we could scratch that signature off for you guys if you want.
I was about to say maybe we even get rid of Jonah's name off of there. Who knows?
Yeah, I think his name was on there too. So guys, if you got any questions, fire them off. We're just kind of sitting here shooting the shit. Nothing really going on a Thursday.
Wasn't Chris on vacation? What's up, Chris? You still Chris, on vacation? You back? What's up?
Still in the Dominican, feet in the sand, cold beer in hand. Will the Tigers be good this year? That's a lot of people are saying the Tigers should be the favorite to win the division. I don't know. I mean, I kind of stopped tracking baseball like I really used to. I used to be like a diehard baseball fan, but it's just kind of, I don't know, kind of fizzled out for me. I'm just locked on my Lions and Wolverines now.
Yeah.
So also, if you guys have any questions, we're kind of trying to keep this to like a draft Lions talk. We will, Red Wings getting ready for the playoffs. Hopefully Tigers getting ready to start back in old Alabama. Hey, you know what? We talked about going down there for the Senior Bowl next year, possibly.
Yep.
Possibly.
No more boys down there.
Riley, the Lamar Jackson super fan.
My dog. Yes, sir.
William, do you think the Lions are going to end up picking at 29, or do you think they're going to do something?
I think there's no way they pick at 29. Now they're definitely going to pick at 29 that I said that, but I think there's no way. We're trading up or trading back, one of the two. As soon as we figured out that we were going to the draft for sure, we've both talked about how it's kind of sealed the deal for us that we're probably not going to draft. We're probably going to trade back at a minimum. I feel like the maximum pick now is pick 33. Just enough. Just enough to get us out, to day 2. But hey, as long as we do what's best for the team, man, that's all that matters. I'm gonna have a good time regardless.
After the investment I just put into my Airbnb, they damn well better pick in the first round.
Well,
because we had to get an Airbnb for the night, for 2 nights, actually 2.5. If the Detroit Lions don't make a pick at 29, I'm going to be very upset from a fan standpoint and in a financial standpoint. Like, I have invested into this night, and this night alone. You guys had better do something in the first round. But if they trade back into like round 2, would you be okay with that?
Depending on what we do, man. If we trade up or if we trade back and we go grab 2 pieces, I would like it. Maybe we get we trade back, but we get an extra second round pick or something, who knows? But as long as we're getting, I think there's value there. We've talked about it a bunch of times when we broke down the numbers. All the offensive linemen, all of the receivers, all of the edge rushers, all of the quarterbacks. There's only so many players that can go in the first round. So there's gonna be guys that slide down there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's like 9 offensive linemen, 4 or 5 quarterbacks, like 6 or 7 wide receivers. Like, someone has to fall. So speaking of which, we've kind of been talking about a little bit, going over this list of an updated list of formal combine visits. And this isn't a complete list. There's just probably 12 names on the list that we have right here. There's a name that sticks out to me, and I don't know why I can't stop looking at it every time I look. But the fact that the Lions brought in Kenyon Mitchell for an official visit at the combine, do you think that speaks anything?
I think it's just them doing their due diligence. One of the things that I did earlier this morning, I actually did it a little bit yesterday, but I really dug into it this morning, was I went at 2023 and I looked at who all we brought in for visits, and it kind of tapered me down to what my expectations are on guys coming to visits. Because my first thing was like, ooh, because I like Quinyon. Like, ooh, Quinyon came for a visit. Is it but I don't think it truly means that much. Sometimes it's a little bit of deception and a little bit of gameplay there, and sometimes they do want to get that extra look at a guy to decide if he's a guy or not. So Quinyon is a guy that we would have to trade up to get unless some weird Brian Branch type stuff happens, but I just don't foresee that happening.
Not a chance he falls to 29. We're going to have to make a move. The question is, how far does he fall? Is it somewhere from like 12 to 20, somewhere in that range? I think that's striking distance for us. If he's somewhere in there, I could see Brad making a move. If he goes in the top 10, I think he's kind of untouchable for us at that point.
Yeah, I agree.
Real quick, we'll answer this question, and then there's some more names. Either of you going to the jersey reveal on the 18th? Yes, we both will be there. Ethan, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. If you missed it, we're going up there. We're going to try to get our hands on some jerseys to give away. Go back a couple minutes ago. We walked through how to become a member. That's where all of our giveaways are going to. We're going up there for the jersey reveal. We're going to get our hands on some jerseys to give away to some of our followers. Another name on this list, there's like probably 4 or 5 guys, and I'm like, okay, it's kind of interesting that the Lions had an official visit with them. Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yep. Kool-Aid's the guy you like, man. How you feel about that visit?
His name fits perfectly with the Detroit Lions, first and foremost.
Drinking that Kool-Aid.
And I think he's a day 1 starter. I think he becomes cornerback too.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
You don't think he beats out Amik Robertson?
I don't know, man. That's tough to say. I don't, because Amik's got starting history in the NFL. I always go with those guys that already gotten it done in the NFL. I think day 1's going to be Amik, but towards the middle of the season, could I see Kool-Aid taking it over? I definitely could, but day 1, I gotta go. Amik is probably gonna be the one that's out there.
You think Kool-Aid's considered a shutdown corner?
No.
Close?
No.
Not even close?
Nah, not shutdown. I think he's gonna be a solid cornerback in the NFL. I reserve that shutdown word, man, for just a special and elite group of guys, man. It's maybe, to me, maybe 1 or 2 that even get that term, that right now.
Do you think Kool-Aid McKinstry would be a very, very good corner? Like, where's the line at, Will?
For me, I think he'll be a good corner in the NFL. If I had to bet money, he wouldn't be the guy that I was betting money on. That I'm saving those for Nate Wiggins and Quinyon Mitchell, but I think that he's going to be a contributor and he's going to have a solid NFL career. Elite level play is something that's special. Those guys, you're not allowed to touch these guys, man. It's hard. Like it's a hard ask.
You can't touch them, and now you can't even tackle them with these new drop tackle rules that just got enforced.
Yeah, certain areas too that I can only hit. It's just tough. It's tough ask for these guys.
I like how a lot of players in the NFL are kind of voicing their opinion about this drop tackle stuff, saying that they might as well just put flags on us. Look, they're all right. I think you can't really touch guys when the ball's snapped, and now you can't touch them when they have the ball. So what are these defenders supposed to do?
Two-hand touch.
Like, is it ruining football in your opinion?
It's making it tough, man. I get there has to be a balance to it. It's just tough, man, because you want to have these guys be as safe as possible. Because even as a season ticket holder, right, you don't want to go to these games and not have the star players be out there. So, I mean, there's that aspect of it. Guys continue to get bigger, stronger, and faster, and this game continues to become potentially more violent, and they're trying to do the things that they can do to keep players on the field and to make sure that they can enjoy life after football, because this is such a short span of their life. But there's also a reason why you're getting compensated the way you're getting compensated for playing this game. So I think it's a balance, and I do think that it does take a little bit away from the violence that we want to see on the football field. But I don't know. It's some of it I like.
Football. Like, this is the way football has been played for years. Yeah. I get it. You can't hit a guy up high because now there's a possibility of concussion. Now you can't hit them low because they might tear an ACL or break their ankle. So where are you supposed to hit them? Like, what are you supposed to do? Especially if you're chasing down a guy. How are you supposed to bring down a defender that you're chasing from behind? You grab onto him and you put your weight down so that he has to carry your weight so that you at least slow him down until your teammates get there. It's just, this isn't football anymore. I feel like it's kind of like one of those rules where I'm wondering how much will the refs enforce it. I think it kind of really started to get brought up when Mark Andrews got hurt for the Ravens and he got drop tackled by someone from the Bengals and it broke his ankle. And that's kind of what really sparked this conversation. So I get it. People get hurt. I could walk outside and get hit by a car. Are we going to ban cars? Like, it's just, where do we draw the line?
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see how it goes moving forward. If this will be a 1 year thing that ends up getting reversed, or if this is going to be a thing that's set in stone. It's just tough, man. It's tough to find the balance of what that line is. I would like to see too, because I'm a part of a couple different groups that get the videos on like tackling tutorials and what the new any new rule changes and stuff like that, and what the new wave or the new age of proper tackling is. So I'm interested to see, like you just mentioned, what the new expectation is for tackling guys from behind, because if I can't grab you and drop my weight on you, if I can't grab you by the collar, like what's the
do I just watch you run into the end zone? Like,
if I'm behind you, can I only run ahead of you and try to I'm interested to see what the proper tackling is going to be from behind now.
I don't think there's a good way to do it. Like, you either don't tackle them and you just give up a touchdown, or you tackle them and you give up a 15-yard penalty. I think, like, what you got to give them the 15 yards, right? You got to hope for like a turnover or something on the next play. It's just kind of watering down. And I've heard the NFL be called like the not for long league. I've also heard it called the no fun league. Like, you can't celebrate touchdowns hardly anymore. You can't hit people. Like, what sport are we playing?
Yeah. Ethan said that it was Rich McKay. I'll put it up here. Said it's currently more than likely going to be a fine than a flag. So hopefully
the players aren't going to be making plays because they're going to say, I'm not going to lose money over trying to tackle someone. Yeah. That's like you and me going to work and them saying, hey, if you do this, you're going to lose 3 hours of pay. Would you do it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Your job might depend on it.
Yeah. Strong possibility not going to do it.
I like this question, but we're not going to tip our hand too much. Best player available in round 1 looks like a wide receiver. William.
It's tough. I think that's opinion based.
Yeah. I'm not getting off my island. I think best player available for the Lions has to be a defensive player. I like talking receivers, guards, but defense is where we need the most help.
I think best player available too. You got to I have, and this is no exaggeration, I have 15 receivers that I like in this draft a whole lot. 15 that I like a whole lot. Now, 5 of them are guys that probably aren't going to be available to us. Okay. But there's another 10 that I love. So um, I don't know, man. But what do I want too? I want an edge guy or a defensive end. Is there guys in the middle of the draft that I like at edge? There is. So it's a matter of who do the Detroit Lions love. I seen they brought a lot of edges in. I see they got a second round edge to me, right? That I like that they brought in. They got probably a third or fourth round edge that they brought in, and Javon Sullivan that I keep mentioning, man, that had great production out of Troy that I like. So uh who knows? Who knows what route that they're gonna go? Because if we don't, to me, we still haven't addressed our pass rush if we draft a corner at 29 either.
Yep.
So, and I feel like a cornerback is a position that we somewhat have covered in the sense of we have Carlton Davis, we have Meek, and we have Emmanuel Mosley, who got injured in the front half of the season. So he should be ready, to play early in the season, if not right out of the gate. So it's like it's a matter of what is the most important position and best player available for the Detroit Lions, not the best player available per Mel Kiper and the top 100 rankings.
Here's a question. Since the NFC Championship game, with everything that's happened to the Detroit Lions, has the offense gotten better, worse, or stayed the same in your opinion?
I think we've gotten worse.
Really?
The reason why I say that is because we lost Josh Reynolds, and I feel like there were certain situations that Josh Reynolds helped us out tremendously, and I don't think that signing Zittler fixes that. Now, do I think that our offensive line got better or worse? I think our offensive line got better. I think Zittler replacing Jonah, it made us better, right? I think not having to deal with Haloti in camp, his back issues, and maybe he's a starter, not a starter, knowing that Graham Glasgow is going to be our guy, knowing that Frank's going to be our guy, kind of knowing what this line looks like, letting these guys gel from now until when camp starts. I think that made our offensive line better, but we gotta figure out what this Josh Reynolds situation is. And by that, I mean, is DPJ coming in? Are we drafting a receiver? That whatever that situation is going to need to take some time to gel with Jared Goff. So I think at this current moment, we're worse with the potential to end up way better, though.
I think our offense stayed the same. And I say that because we lost Josh Reynolds, but I think we got better on the offensive line when you said. So I won't say it got worse. I'll call it a push. We got worse at wide receiver, but we got better on the offensive line, and we didn't lose anything else. So I call it a push. So that kind of leads me into the next question. Did the defense get better, worse, or did it stay the same?
I feel like the defense got better.
Is it good enough to get the job done and get over that NFC Championship hump?
I would say a lot of it just depends on availability. If you're telling me that Marcus Davenport is going to come in and play like a madman, I'm going to say yes. Because I've seen what Meek can do. I've seen what Carlton Davis can do. I know what I got in Brian Branch. I think that Jack Campbell's only going to come back better. I know what I got in DJ Reader. I definitely know what I got in Aiden Hutchinson. I know what I got in Aleem McNeil, right? So you know what I mean? It's a matter of Jack Campbell and Saloni. We know what we got. Kirby Joseph, we know what we got. Ife Melifanu, we know what we got. So it's the only real glaring issue that I'm kind of confused and worried about is Marcus Davenport. Is he even going to be on the field? While he's on the field, he had that one season where I think he played 15 games, but he had a real lack in production, even though that he was out there. So what's he going to look like while he's out there? Or are we going to see the guy that ran a 4.5 that was a freak athlete and that was a beast, So if that guy comes in and plays like a madman, we're going to be an absolute problem.
Well, so it sounds like, and I'm on the same page, the biggest question mark on this team is it's not that we lost Josh Reynolds. We upgraded our offensive line. We upgraded the defensive line, secondary. It sounds like the big question mark is Marcus Davenport.
Yeah, and it's not even. I hate to even make
not his skill, his availability.
Yeah, it's just will he be available, man? Will he be on the field? Because if he is, I think he's gonna produce, man. Somebody just said it, and I completely agree. I apologize if I miss you. Here it is. Anthony Tottingham. He said Reader is going to make some guys look fantastic, man. He's going to make a lot of other guys look fantastic. And I absolutely agree with that. Reader is going to be a guy that demands a double team, man, or because if you don't double team, he's going to put your guard or your center in the quarterback's lap. And the opportunity to get one-on-one matchups out there on the edge for whoever is out there at the opposite end of Aiden Hutchinson, it's going to be a problem, man. And if Aleem comes back, the same guy or better than he did last year, it's problems. It's problems. Ultimately, a pass rush, man, can make our secondary just step forward to another level. And having a little bit of depth there is going to be huge with like I said, Emmanuel Mosley coming back. So Emmanuel Mosley, Carlton Davis, and Meek Robertson. I like them. And like Dan said, they're still looking to add a piece in free agency. So I think we still add a free agent piece. Hopefully Stephen Gilmore takes a step forward. Yeah, look, I think we're all right. We're sitting in a decent spot. It's not great, but I think we're sitting in a decent spot.
I have 5 players on my list that I think make this team complete, especially on defense. Braylon Trice, Leitu Latu, Braden Fisk, Chop Robinson, Dallas Turner. If we leave the draft with any one of those players in the first round, pass rushers, I think those are the 5 best pass rushers. Jared Verse is my number 1, but I don't think he's a realistic option. Let's just get this out of there because I can see people coming in the comments already. Jared Verse is probably not an option unless we move into the top probably 12. So is it possible that Trice or Latu are there at 29? Yes. I think you get that defensive end, fix your secondary. Your defense is Braylon Trice, Aleem McNeil, DJ Reader, Aiden Hutchinson. Are you nuts?
Yeah. I like Trice, man.
Or Latu.
I don't know that Latu is the answer at every down. If we're continuing to play a 4-3, I don't know that he is the answer every single down. If we're gonna have a 4 front, whether it's 4-3, 4-2-5, if we got a 4 front out there and we're not going odd front, I don't know that Latu, Chop, like how are we going to manipulate that? Are we going to start playing more odd front? It's not like it's something that we can't do or we don't do, but is that going to be our adjustment? How are we going to play that? Braylon Trice is a little bit bigger. It's one of the reasons why I really think that we're really probably going to go Darius Robinson. He's dare to be to me. I'm looking at Darius Robinson or Fisk. Fisk is the one we love. Darius Robinson is kind of one thing that I do like about him, and hats off to. I give him a shout out. Cameron Carodi. He mentioned it yesterday, reminded me, hometown guy, man, Darius Robinson. So hometown story. Detroit Lions fan, wants to be a Detroit Lion. Like, kind of reminds me of the Aiden Hutchinson situation.
Who doesn't want to be a Detroit Lion?
I mean, it would make sense. Like, everybody should want to be a Detroit Lion, but just remembering how Aiden Hutchinson truly wanted to be a Detroit Lion. Darius Robinson is another one that truly wants to be a Detroit Lion. And I keep saying it, man, as much as I hate to say it, the more I watch the film, I love his versatility. He can play standing up. He can play with his hand in the dirt. He can play defensive tackle. He can play defensive end. And he's going to come in here. I know that he was listed at 285 during the combine, but he's a 300-pound football player. He's going to play the game at 300 pounds. 295 pounds is probably where he's going to actually take his snaps when he's not trying to run 40-yard dashes or look super athletic like a track athlete. And just the thought of having a 300-pound defensive end out there, Aiden Hutchinson being the smallest guy on our defensive line, it really excites me.
What about? I'm kind of not sure where he's going to go, but Chop Robinson, is he a top 15 or does he fall to 29? I think if you put him in James Houston role, that outside linebacker who can move, I think that's just a missing piece. You could still have Josh Pascal or John Kaminsky at defensive end and throw him in there. So you're setting that edge and you're getting a pass rush, or you could put him on the same side as Aiden Hutchinson. And hey, now you have about 1.2 seconds as a quarterback to get rid of the ball, because Chop Robinson is there's fast and then there's Chop Robinson fast.
Steve, now you're speaking my language, man. And that's really what the answer is to me. There's 2 ways to address this thing to me. You can address it at the defensive end position, or you can address it at what we call a Sam linebacker position. And it's the position that we played Charles Harrison. The Chorus played it a little bit. James Houston played it a little bit. And I think that that's the true position that we need to address. One of those two, edge or defensive end. And I think that, yeah, adding a chop to that position, um, I could see it, but I think Latu is kind of the one. Latu is the one that I think is going to be able to run with running backs out of the backfield. I like Chop. I love his speed. I love his ability to rush the edge. I haven't seen him a lot running with running backs releasing or even tight ends releasing off of that edge. So I just wonder what he looks like doing that. I know he has the speed to do it, but can he cover a guy? Can he react to a guy making moves in front of him?
Hang on real quick.
Yep.
Well, shit, I got my opinion on Darius Robinson from YouTube not liking him. I guess I got to go chance it now. Look, I just don't, when I watch Darius Robinson, his film, it doesn't blow me away. It's not overwhelming. He's not, if he's going to be coming here and playing defensive end, there's some expectations because we've been talking about how we need a defensive end since like week 4 of last year. So there's going to be some high demand for productivity. And when I put on his tape and I watch him play against Georgia specifically, I almost fell asleep from boredom. I'm not trying to knock the kid. I just don't see explosiveness. I don't see a game wrecker. I don't see a game changer at the very least. But when I turn on Braden Fisk's film, I see a guy who's in the backfield faster than Jared Verse, but from a different position. I watch a guy who goes to the combine. I watch Braden Fisk stand out at every single drill while Darius Robinson was kind of like in the middle of the pack in every drill. So I put the game tape and I put the combine workouts side by side. Which one sticks out for me? It's Braden Fisk is up head and shoulders beyond Darius Robinson. But the problem is the Detroit Lions signed, this is a good problem. The Detroit Lions signed DJ Reader. So our need for a defensive tackle just went down. Whereas at the beginning of March, we were talking about Braden Fisk almost every episode, but we've kind of had to cool the jets because it's not a huge position of need anymore. So we're not hating on Darius Robinson. It's just at 29, I think I just need a little bit more. If it's, if he falls to the second round and we're picking in somewhere in there because of a trade, it's a different story. But at 29, I don't know. I think there's a handful of other guys in that position that I'd probably just rather have than Darius Robinson.
You know what? What is it? What is it? Who was that? Was it Ethan?
Yes.
You know what it is about Darius Robinson for me? He's just not wowing. He's a good football player, man. He's a good football player. But at 29, I want somebody that's like mind blowing. Like there's somebody that is going to be an immediate impact player, and not just an impact, but a kind of a quote unquote sexy impact player. Like I want the lights, I want the Aiden Hutchinson, I want the glitz, I want the glamour. But maybe that's just not the right thing. Like what you're gonna get in that guy is you're gonna get a guy that's versatile, right? If something happens and you need him to play more edge, he'll be able to do that. If something happens and maybe Aleem gets banged up again, he's a guy that you could bump down to play inside, so he can play standing up, he can play with his hand in the dirt, but he doesn't do any of it to a unbelievable level to where when you turn on the film, you're like, whoa, wow. Like when you watch Fisk, it's like,
it's different.
Whoa. It's exciting. It's disruptive. But a lot of people are saying that, Darius Robinson's first year playing edge was last year, the first year playing on the edge. So a lot of people are saying that it's something that could be potentially down the road for him to where he could fall into or step into that role. We just haven't seen it yet. So it's a risk and, risk reward type deal. And I just don't love that at pick 29.
Oh, that's what I wanted.
If I'm doing that,
keep talking.
If I'm doing that, man, I'm just trying to
technical error.
No worries. If I'm doing that, I'm just trying to do it in a way that it's in the later rounds. I'm trying to do that at pick 2 or pick 3. I'm picking a guy that I don't really know what he's going to be or what his ceiling is. In the first round, I want a guy that's going to make an immediate impact. I kind of know what that impact is. It's a day one impact that's only going to expand. So I don't know if they picked him, I would understand it. But at the end of the day, it's just not the sexy pick for me.
We've also been talking a lot of receivers, and hint, there's another receiver that we're talking about. That video will be out later tonight. It's recorded, it's uploaded. We'll have that out tonight, probably around 7:00. A guy that not many people are talking about. I'm not going to spill the beans, but it's a steal. But for me, I'm just telling you, I can't get off fixing this defense first. I need to come in on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and just know that the defense is going to carry their weight instead of the Lions win, but it just depends on the defense. We get both of these units, offense, defense, special teams, top 10, top 15. I don't see why this team can't go to the Super Bowl. We were so close last year. We got a little nibble, a little taste. What's going to put us over the hump? Is it adding a receiver? Is it adding a corner, adding a defensive end? I don't know.
How do you feel about Latu, man? I seen Lloyd Dockham said, hey, if he falls, if Latu falls to 29, run the card up.
Can't get there fast enough.
You feel that's how you feel too?
He's he's on my list. It just depends on who's there. But if he's there, him and Aiden Hutchinson, what's Latu? He's like 6'6", isn't he?
He's tall. I think he's 6. I think he's 6'5", but yeah, somewhere around there.
Oh, just 6'5". Is that all? He's just Sorry, he's just 6'5". Yeah, that's a situation where depending on who's on the board, if it's Latu, I'm perfectly fine with that. I could see him just being a Brad Holmes guy where we drafted Aiden Hutchinson and we got yelled at by the NFL for picking too fast. I could see a very similar scenario from that. But here's another question. I'll let you handle this one because this is your guy from way back in the day. I assume you're talking about Hendon Cooper, Michael Erickson, who
we talking about Cooper. We talking about Cooper DeJean, or are we talking about Hendon Cooper, Michael?
Because I forgot about Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, which one we talking about, Michael?
When I saw Cooper, though, I assumed it was Hendon Cooper.
Yeah, let me know which one we're talking about because he just said yes. Yes, sir. Hendon Cooper. I'll just hit them both. So, listen, Hendon Cooper is somebody that really excites me. Yeah, you guys already. Yeah, okay, perfect. Hendon Cooper, we talked about it in the beginning. It's just a matter of will we actually pull the trigger on that? Will we pull the trigger with Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, and Derek Barnes all under contract? Will we pull the trigger on somebody like Hendon Cooper at pick 29? He immediately solves problems that I feel like we still have in running down guys like Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Lamar Jackson. The list goes on. Any of these guys that want to run around, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, any of these guys that want to run around in the backfield, now we have answers. Jack Campbell is a guy that can run, right? Hendon Cooper is a guy that can run. You know what I mean? Alex Anzalone is a guy that can run. And Derek Barnes is a guy that I feel like is underrated. What's up, Donovan? Is a guy that I feel like is underrated rushing off the edge. He got to do it a little bit last year, but not enough to me. I think we should use him in more of that role. I think that you could now maybe have Hendon Cooper standing up next to and passing the torch on to Jack Campbell and Hendon Cooper and kind of letting Alex Anzalone finish his contract and right off into the sunset. But Hendon Cooper's a guy I love. If we got him in Detroit, I'd be paying for his first hunting trip.
I'm going to answer this question right here. Isaiah Miles, are we opposed to giving up picks to get Dallas, Turner, or Jared Verse? I'm going to say this quiet, Will, because my wife's at home, but I would give Brad Holmes my wife for a night to move up and get Jared Verse. All right. And I hope she's not at the bottom of the stairs, but that's how high I am on Jared Verse. And she must not have heard me because I would have been getting yelled at extremely loud and a lot of profanities, but that's how far I'm willing to go. Oh, she's in here. Unbelievable. We'll have, yeah.
Hey, listen.
There's my wife right there commenting. So apparently we are not getting Jared first.
Hey guys, full investigation starts there first. When Steve comes up missing after this podcast.
Yeah. If anything happens to me and if you guys don't see me podcasting for a couple of days, start the investigation with my wife downstairs because she's probably gonna But that's how high I am on Jared Verse. I think he's the number one pass rusher. And what I absolutely hate is that I've seen a lot of mock drafts to him to the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh. Antonio, do you need a good divorce lawyer? No, I think he needs personal protection.
Yeah,
Actually,
if you can offer private security, I think that's more what I need. A divorce lawyer does not save me for the rest of my life. We're talking witness protection.
Oh,
but yeah, Jared Verse, I think he's the number one guy, and I've seen him mocked to the Minnesota Vikings an awful lot, and it's breaking my heart to see that, and I hope it's not true.
yeah, I definitely don't want to see him in Minnesota, man.
Oh boy, she's even selling my tickets. Absolutely not. To change that password on Ticketmaster almost immediately. Dallas Turner, how do you feel about him too? Because that was a name that was mentioned in that question. I took the Jared Verse. I'll let you get Dallas Turner.
Yeah, I love Dallas Turner. I think that he offers a little bit more impact immediately. I feel like Jared Verse's upside is going to be a little bit further though. I think that Dallas Turner, Nick Saban's got those guys NFL ready. We looked at Will Anderson, man. He got in, he got after it. He wasn't messing around. I think they got two of them that are going to be NFL ready this year, and Chris Braswell as well. But for me, what I would have to trade to go up and get Dallas Turner, I wouldn't do it. I think that you'll probably trade a little bit less to go up and get Jared Verse. And for me, I want to keep as much draft equity as I can. But I like them both. Let's not get that twisted. But falling back to where we just were, though, Jared Verse, love him. Dallas Turner, love him. But if you're telling me that I got an opportunity to get Latu later on, trade less, that could be a lot less impact. We're talking about maybe going up 5 slots or 3 slots instead of trading up 10 slots, then I'm just going to grab Latu, man, pending the medical evaluation. If he's passed all the medicals and he looks good and everything's good to go, I'm grabbing Latu. I'm going to be happy with my guy. Versatile, 6'5". I'm gonna go grab him, man, and
he's just 6'5", though. Just throw that in there. Just 6'5".
I was just saying he wasn't 6'6", but I knew where you got the 6'6" from because they were saying that he was 6'6" before. But we got to go by the combine, the combine heights and weights, man. They give the real deal, man. They don't tell us what you were in the program. You were 6'7", 300 pounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I need to get listed on ESPN because I would like to be classified as 6'3" if I'm being honest. But let me ask you this. I've been trying to track Brad Holmes. We're kind of getting through the pro days here, and we just had the Michigan pro day. There was scouts up the ass, GMs everywhere because we had 18 kids there. But I found it very interesting that Brad Holmes was confirmed at Alabama's pro day. And we know we have an Alabama connection. That was a lot of kids he got his eyes on at Alabama, a lot of first-round talent. If you had to guess, who do you think he was looking at the most there?
Chris Braswell in the story.
Oh, okay, come on. Absolutely not.
He was there to see Chris Braswell.
No.
Listen, he wasn't there to see he wasn't there to see Dallas Turner.
I bet he was scouting Alabama's kicker more than Chris Braswell. Let's be honest.
Well, he wasn't there to see Dallas. He wasn't there to see Dallas Turner. Right. There was 2 people that he was there to see. In being honest, I was going to let you say your guy, but he was there to see Kool-Aid McKinstry, and he was there to see Chris Braswell. Dallas Turner isn't going to be available when we're picking, right? But Chris Braswell might. And Chris Braswell is a guy that might be there in the second round later on, not later on, but earlier in the second round. He might be another guy that we trade up and go get if we just love him. So maybe we're grabbing Kool-Aid McKinstry. Maybe we double down, man, because it's starting to be the Alabama Lions. So, or Roll Lions.
Roll Pride.
Yeah, Roll Pride. That's what it was. So it's starting to be Roll Pride, man. So I think that Dallas Turner being off the board. The other 2 is Kool-Aid McKinstry and Chris Braswell, which I really like Chris Braswell's game. I think that he's underrated, man. I don't think that we're missing all that much by getting him, man.
I think Brad Holmes was there looking at either the kicker or Saban's daughter more than Chris Braswell, if we're being honest.
Was she even still there? She hasn't left town?
I have to be careful. I'm on thin ice with the missus as it is, so I really can't say too much right now. But no, I think it was Kool-Aid, and I found it interesting that he went out and ran a 4.37 with a broken foot or a broken bone in his foot. I can't remember what that injury is called. That he was getting repaired like the next day, but he still had a footed injury, and he goes out and runs a 4.37.
Listen, man, I don't want to hype him up on his foot injury. He didn't even know that he had a foot injury until he got to the combine and they recognized it. So it's probably something that he can't even feel. They probably recognized it when they started doing the imaging, and he needs to get it taken care of before it gets worse. Don't quote me on that because I haven't did any dig into it other than recognizing that they noticed it during the combine and it was something that he didn't know that he had going on. So it can't be that too big of a deal if he didn't even know that it was a thing.
Yeah, I think that's who he's looking at. But real quick, guys, while we're wrapping this up, slowly but surely, if you guys have any questions, fire them off. I'll say, Michael, I wish the Sutton debacle never happened. It changed our draft tremendously. I hope he will be okay. And Andy turns off it. Yeah, I still haven't even heard. That was March 7th, so it's been 3 weeks. And we were living in a very nice world where the Detroit Lions did not need anything, really. It was receiver was a more realistic option. Defensive end, and then that Cam Sutton stuff happened, and it kind of just flipped our whole draft world upside down.
Yeah. Where is Kool-Aid expected to be drafted? What do you think, Steve?
I saw, at the beginning of college football, he was a top 10 pick, and now he's kind of slowly sliding. It's not because of anything he's doing. I think it's because there's a lot of guys out there. It just depends on team needs. Like we talk about it all the time. There's 9 offensive linemen with first-round grades. What do teams want to do who have drafted a young quarterback the last 2 or 3 years? They want to build that offensive line and invest or protect their investment. So, I mean, there's a lot of receivers in this draft too. So Kool-Aid, I don't know, man. He's interesting because I've seen him top 5 at the beginning of the year, and now I've seen him at 29 to the Lions. So who knows? I guess we'll have to just sit back and wait and see.
Yeah, I'm going to say, man, who knows? But I would say middle to second half of the first round because Nate Wiggins and Quinyon Mitchell are probably going to be the first 2 corners selected, if you ask me. Then there's guys out there that still like Terrion Arnold better than they like Kool-Aid. So it's a matter of what you like after that, man. Ennis Rakestraw is another guy that's out there that bouncing around. I know that everybody is saying that my boy Max, man, Max Melton, that he's a second round guy, but if you fall in love with that guy, he's another guy that can be talked about in that conversation. So it remains to be seen, man, but I probably see him in the 20s getting selected.
Yeah, I think after about pick 15, Kool-Aid should start popping up on some radars. But Michael, we were talking about this off camera. You cannot become a member through a mobile device. It's stupid. It's a YouTube thing. It's nothing we are in control of. So if you want to become a member, you have to do it from a actual computer for whatever reason. It's just the way YouTube works. It's just stupid. It makes no sense, but we appreciate it. We do appreciate it if you end up becoming a member. Again, not required, but it is much appreciated, and you will automatically be entered for our giveaways. If you weren't here in the beginning, we have a 2023 Detroit Lions signed picture that I should receive tomorrow. We are giving that away to a member. If you're a level 1 member, you get automatically entered. If you're a level 2 member, you get 2 entries. Level 3, 3 entries. So much appreciated, but you have to do it from a actual computer, unfortunately.
To go along with that, guys, when we're talking about that membership, here's something that you might want to consider. April 18th?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
April 18th, these new jerseys come out. If you are in the building, you have an opportunity to secure some of these new jerseys. We will be there and we will be securing some jerseys to raffle off. So that's it. They will be getting raffled off to members. So that'll be something that just to keep an eye on, man. Because
get ahead of the curve because it's going to happen. I'm not leaving that jersey reveal without a jersey. I will tell you that. So I don't care if I have to kill someone.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah.
Let's not
let an old lady get in the way of me and a Detroit Den 313 jersey giveaway because
on the bows.
She better bring her A game that day.
Guys, put it in the comments. What jersey would you like to see?
I feel like Sam Laporta is the hot jersey that everyone liked because we did a Sam Laporta jersey giveaway on Twitter before we were offering memberships. But from now on, all of our giveaways will be to YouTube members. But when we did that jersey giveaway for Sam Laporta, I think that thing had like 800 shares and over 100,000 views. So I feel like Sam Laporta is one that everyone's wanting right now. Is that still the case?
Sam Laporta. We talking Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch. We talking Jared Goff. We talking Penei Sewell. What we talking, guys? What we talking?
Tom Kennedy.
Iffy Melifonwu. Okay.
Also, put it in the comments what you guys think is going to be the tweaks on these Lions jerseys giveaways. We kind of talked about that at the beginning, but I have no idea.
Brian Branch.
I'm going to get a new Aiden Hutchinson jersey. I got the old one, the white one. I'm going to see what these jerseys look like, but I will be getting a Hutch jersey. Gibbs,
Yeah.
we did do a Jahmyr Gibbs jersey giveaway too earlier in the year. We're trying to do giveaways at least once a month. I can't say too much. There is I'll call it a silent partner we might possibly be looking into. I guess that's a good way to call it, who wants to help us by doing giveaways. So we might be able to do them once a week. We might be able to do it every 2 weeks, but we're going to at least try once a month.
All right, Craig, appreciate you stopping in. Hendon Hooker. Ooh, that Hendon Hooker number 2 jersey, Chris.
Did he switch?
Switch to number 2.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
When did he switch? Because he's always worn number 12 his whole college career, and that's what he had here.
That was just recently that came out, I guess, that he was switching to number 2.
That's where he's going to be at on the depth chart for his whole career, too.
J-Mo.
So it's a good number for him.
Never know, man. Never know.
That number 2 matches his depth chart positioning.
Nobody wants that Nate Sudfeld jersey.
That's who I was trying to think. That's who they just re-signed as quarterback 3. Like, I don't know. That's not even really worth talking about. That's emergency quarterback. You want to have a conversation about emergency quarterbacks?
I'm just saying nobody wants that jersey. Anybody? Tom Kennedy, guys? Anybody want that Tom Kennedy jersey besides Steve?
You can't get your hands on the Tom Kennedy
Chris
jersey.
said who?
Tom Kennedy, Lions legend. Oh yeah, I forget that's who wore number 2. No, Sutton wore number 1 last year. CJ wore number 2. That's what it was.
Yeah.
CJ Gardner-Johnson was number 2. Sutton was number 1, and that's what everyone thinks J-Mo is going to be wearing. I don't know, man. J-Mo's going to have to hit a parlay, because if you switch jersey numbers, you got to pay for all those jerseys that are on the shelf. So I hope J-Mo's getting hot on that betting app that he's on, and he's got that money laying around.
Oh,
Lions fan 76, much appreciated. You will be automatically entered into our giveaway. Like I said, if you weren't here a minute ago, got a picture coming. We're going to do a giveaway on that. You are automatically entered. Guys, we got about 2 more minutes, and then we're going to wrap it up. So if you guys got any questions, fire them off.
Holmes will never reach for a player in the draft. They will draft at 29. Will be a dynamic player. Dig it. Yeah, I hope it's a dynamic player, man. I hope it's a dynamic player like I don't know. Maybe
Lions fan 76. I don't know how you did it. I've been investigating this for weeks. If you could explain how you joined from your phone, again, it's appreciated, but I've been having issues trying to get a join button on our mobile app.
Yeah. Even if you could tell us on Twitter too, if you could reach out, like if it's too hard to type, put it out on Twitter, because we were trying to mess around with it. We couldn't figure it out from the phone. I
like this question, and there's a reason. Anthony, what's your thoughts on using 2 quarterbacks set during both Goff and Hooker? Someone asked me a question on an episode, and I wish I could remember. I even circled it. I wrote it down on my notebook. We've talked about the Detroit Lions having some offensive struggles in the 3rd quarter, and someone had mentioned, what if the Detroit Lions put Hendon Hooker in there to start the second half of the game as a nice little wrinkle, just to keep a team honest?
That's not something that I see, man, but I do see maybe him getting like a drive here and there, or like some type of little package. I don't see it coming out of the second half, but I see it maybe just getting sprinkled into a game. Him having some type of package to where maybe he's got some QB runs in there. But something that I did want to talk about, and I'll probably mention it again in the episode, but did you see what Liam McNeil said about Hendon Hooker by chance?
Not the exact quote. I watched him on Chris Long's podcast?
He said he just Lions fan 76. He said he just hit the dollar bar next to the comment bar.
Lions fan 76 is way more advanced technology wise than I am, because on my iPad I cannot do that. But it is appreciated if that's an option. That's how you guys can become a member. But much appreciated.
Oh, so But yeah, I think that it'll be something, man, that we see that Hendon will have a little package. But back to what Aleem McNeil said about him. Aleem said in a podcast recently, and I'll send it to you so you can link it to our Twitter page. He said that Hendon Hooker's arm is absolute butter. He said it's so beautiful. Like it's just beautiful. It's super powerful. It's absolute butter, and it's just beautiful. And I quote, "What does that mean? Does that mean you're better than Jared Goff? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It doesn't. But when people say stuff like that are actually there for the throws and participating in the drills, and they make that type of comment, it did make me go, ooh, like I can't wait to see it. And it's like, and he said, oh yeah, you guys are gonna see his arm. His arm is butter, man. It's butter. So
I know he's got a cannon. I know he does. I know he can run. It's just it's literally everything in between there. Can he do all that?
No. They are. They both Carolina boys. Applying pressure. I see you. Russ said he's getting his Hendon Hooker jersey right now.
Russ, you better wait till April 18th if you didn't get that email about the jersey giveaway, or not the jersey giveaway, the jersey reveal. I'm not sure if you're working that day, but you might want to get that new and improved Lions Hendon Hooker jersey.
Maybe for the free, man.
Yeah, he's already a member, so yeah, he would automatically be entered if we can get our hands on one.
That's what I'm saying. He might get it free. Yeah, definitely right. You don't know until you see him play, man. He's gotta get some downs in before you know what he is or what he isn't.
Preseason, I only want to see Hendon Hooker in preseason. I want to see him with the ones in joint practices, with the ones in the actual preseason games, as much as humanly possible. I'm talking like 3 quarters a game.
I just worry about messing up Jared's timing, man. We got to make sure that Jared's ready to go. Ultimately, we're getting our starting quarterback ready to go win us a Super Bowl. So this isn't go get the other guy ready. You know, Dude Love, Jordan Love. You guys know if you watch the show a lot, I call him Dude Love. But Dude Love was able to get ready without taking snaps from Aaron Rodgers. So like it's Aaron Rodgers didn't take snaps from Brett Favre. It's when you're the backup, you got to play that backup role. You only get a certain amount of snaps or whatever. Maybe they can do something to where they call it like, hey, Jared, we're going to preserve your body. We're going to keep your arm rested. We're going to get this guy some first team reps. But other than that, man, if Jared's our guy, give him the reps, make sure he's ready to play in these games. But I wouldn't mind seeing Hendon Hooker getting a drive here or there just to give the teams a different look too, man. Like,
I plan on going to a handful of practices, and really the only player as it sits today that I will be watching will be Hendon Hooker. Only player I'm really interested this preseason, depending on who we draft. But right now, today, if the Lions are holding a practice today, I'm only focused on Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, I gotta see, man. If they were holding a practice today, man, I want to see if Brian Branch took another step forward because oof. If I just thought of him being better, it's exciting, man. All right, Chris, man, take it easy, man. Appreciate you stopping in.
Goff didn't play preseason last year. Well, last year they kind of started introducing those joint practices more. Like I know we had one with the Giants, the Jaguars, and I can't remember who else the Colts. No, not the Colts. I can't remember, but we played three preseason games. In those joint practices, you're practicing against that team all week. And that's kind of where Goff got his reps, where it's more controlled. It's more, hey, Goff's in the red jersey, but he's still getting some reps.
Oh, this was at you, Steve.
Yeah, hey, I've said it. I said it in my Goff or my Hendon Hooker episode. If Hendon Hooker goes out there and he throws 3 or 4 touchdowns a game, man, Brad Holmes has a tough decision because the one thing me and Will agree on is I don't want to say team whoever, but the one thing me and Will 100% agree on is we got to get a look at Hendon Hooker. So if he goes out there and he throws 3 or 4 touchdowns every single game on a rookie contract, how do you not make him the quarterback going forward? And it's tough to just let Jared go. But if he's producing and he's only making like $1 million a year, and you can go out in free agency and you can sign some of those bigger name guys and still have Hendon Hooker on a 2 or 3 year contract for pennies on the dollar, it's a tough call for Brad Holmes. But I will say this, that's a move that can get you fired. If you let Jared Goff go and you give the reins to Hendon Hooker, and that was just a preseason little typhoon where it doesn't roll over, I can see Brad Holmes getting a lot of heat.
I think that Jared Goff's our quarterback 2024. You know, like I don't care if Hendon Hooker goes out and throws 1,000,000 touchdowns, man. Like I think that 2024, you're probably, unless barring him getting hurt, but I think that because that's the safer way to go about it. Because I believe 100% in exactly what you said. If you uproot Jared Goff and Hendon Hooker goes out there and lays an egg,
Yep.
it's over for you.
And
I don't
also,
care.
let's say Hendon Hooker has a phenomenal preseason. What's everyone going to do the second Jared Goff throws one incomplete pass?
Oh, it's going to be crazy. It's already crazy. It's already. I can't believe how many Hendon Hooker jerseys I've seen last season when the dude he was in street clothes.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Do you know what it came to light for me when I realized how many Hendon Hooker loyal fans were around here? Was a few months ago when we did that episode about trading him to Atlanta, and people were rioting in the streets over us just even thinking about it. Not even saying to do it. Yeah, like we're one of those CJ Gardner-Johnson ski masks out in public because this is just so outrageous. But that is the day where I said, I did not know that Hendon Hooker had that kind of pull in Detroit, and he hasn't even practiced yet.
Yeah.
At that time.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. Yeah. I think that we're gonna see Jared Goff as our quarterback in 2024, barring injury. But the real question is gonna be how we move through this thing. Are we gonna re-sign Jared Goff to an extension, or will it be him riding off into the sunset, Hendon Hooker taking over? I think that's really what we got to look at. I think that will be decided throughout practicing and throughout a season or a half season's worth of work, getting a feel for him at practice. I think the players are going to let us know some things, just like Aleem McDill leaked out a little bit how he feels about Hendon Hooker's arm and how he's looked so far. That was just an early taste. We haven't even got a true opportunity to see what he is. Aleem did say at the end of the season he was playing the scout scheme quarterback for the last part of the season. Hendon was at practice playing the scout team quarterback, and he looked pretty decent. So I think as you get into the season, players are going to let you know. Players don't like a guy being ready or a guy that's potentially better than the guy that you're putting out there. And these decisions are being made as far as how they're going to put food on the table with these wins and losses. They want the best guys out there too. So we'll find out what's what when practice and camp starts.
Yeah. Real quick before I wrap this up, because I do have someone coming to my house here very, very soon. So I will answer this real quick. What happens if Jared Goff gets hurt midseason and Hooker comes in and lights it up? The first thing that popped in my head was Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe. Like, that's the only time I really want to see Hendon Hooker is in case Goff has to miss a game. Hendon Hooker comes in with all the ones, elite offensive line, weapons, running game, all that, a situation where you should not fail. Let's see what you're made of. But when do you draw the string? What if Hendon Hooker comes into that game and he does really well, wins 4 or 5 games in a row? Who do you go with? Do you ride the hot hand, or do you go with the seasoned vet? I don't know. That's kind of like what the Patriots ran into back in the day with Brady and Bledsoe. You know, they obviously made the right decision, but you could easily make the wrong decision too. It's a double-edged sword. You don't know. It's a coin flip.
I think either way, you don't panic. One of the things that I really liked that the Green Bay Packers didn't do was panic. Right? Dude Love came in for Aaron Rodgers, and he looked like absolute trash. He looked terrible, man. But they didn't say, hey, we need to move on from him. He's terrible. We need to go in a different direction. We needed to get a new guy in here. They stayed the path. Aaron came back. He took the thing over. Dude Love went back into learning how to play the QB position at a high level. And then now he's spinning that thing for the Green Bay Packers. So even if Hendon Hooker comes in and he looks like he doesn't look the greatest in preseason, he doesn't look the greatest if he happens to start a game, let's just stay the course, man. Give him an opportunity to develop and see what it is. And while Jared Goff is playing well, if he does this thing at an elite level and he takes a step forward as far as doing what he needs to do to be elite, or maybe we get him an elite piece and he looks even better than he did last year. If he's the guy, he's the guy, man. But you got to make sure, is all we're saying, man. If you're gonna give him $101 million guaranteed and $46 million contract, you got to make sure he's the dude. That's it.
Absolutely. So, guys, if you're new here, if you're not a subscriber already, think about subscribing. We talked about our membership plan, what we're doing with giveaways. I'm not going to keep beating that dead horse. It's just a great opportunity to win some free stuff for a very, very small amount of money, and you're automatically entered. So we're going to wrap it up. We appreciate all the comments, all the insight. We did just post an episode about an hour ago about some wide receivers. Check that out. Hit that subscribe button. Stick around, guys, and thanks for watching. We'll be back later with another live show. Hopefully once a week we can get to do this, but we'll be back later, guys.
Peace. What you doing? You moving?
We're still streaming.